Hey guys, what is going on? This is Larknok1 slash AKBUaddict, and today, as you can tell, I'm bringing you guys some Ghost Recon Online beta gameplay. Unfortunately, these games are abnormally large, and I'm going to get into this later, but I was not able to actually record that many with fraps, and there are many reasons for why I wasn't able to record. I played this game excessively, and I really just couldn't record out my matches because they were just too laggy, or I couldn't play with high enough frame rates, or I just couldn't play with high enough quality. And I eventually solved this problem, and that'll be part of the commentary for today, actually. But you know, this is going to be kind of a large commentary, so sit back. I have a bajillion things to tell you guys, and updates and whatnot. So this is going to be a while, so you know, sit back, relax, grab some, I don't know, do as you do, popcorn or whatnot. So first of all, I'm playing Ghost Recon Online Beta. This is being released somewhat at the same time as Ghost Recon Future Soldier, which is going to be a console game. It will be a legitimate game, so it'll have a campaign and everything. But as you're seeing here, this is actually just going to be a free-to-play PC and Wii U game. I don't know if it's going to be free-to-play on Wii U. I imagine that they'll actually have to release it as a game. Perhaps maybe just downloadable, because it's really only multiplayer. That's the only important part of the game. So as it exists right now, there are 3 classes in the game. There's Assault, there's Specialist, and there's Recon. I'm playing right now as Assault. Each class basically has 2 basically kind of like armor abilities from Halo Reach. The armor abilities, they have they have different uses, and they have different time spans on each of them, and you can only choose one if you're one of the classes. And the way that the game works is you basically kill people and capture points for RP, or in-game currency, and you spend that on guns and then class upgrades. And as you go up in the levels, you can then upgrade more things, like you can buy attachments for your guns, you can start to upgrade your, I guess, armor. You can add new armor abilities, not like, I guess, armor abilities, but like armor modifications to give you extra life and defense, and all cool stuff like that. There is a money to currency system in place, and that's the idea of how do they market this game when it's free to play, and that's really how. Anyways, basically, the idea is that Assault is kind of like forward in your face using a shotgun, which are extremely overpowered in the game right now. Shotguns are very overpowered, and assault rifles, and then Specialists have their SMGs, and I think they have SMGs at least, and then they have they have assault rifles. That's more accurate. Yeah, they have assault rifles and LMGs, which is just like insane because this Specialist class is just OP sometimes. With its freaking Aegis, and I'll talk about that. Actually, I'll talk about it now. The Aegis is like that red bubble you can see in the beginning of the video. It's rather overpowered. It just kind of gets in your face, and there's really nothing you can do about it. And you can't. All your bullets reflect off, and they can shoot you perfectly. It lasts an abnormally large amount of time. So even if you're like hiding behind cover and they don't see you, chances are they're gonna like walk by and then see you and shoot you in the face. And it's rather unfair. You can really only counter it with your own armor ability, which is complete BS, because you have to risk your life just to counter their completely OP BS. But yeah, enough of that. So, and then you have Specialists, yeah, we just talked about that, and Recon. So Recon are like the sniper or SMG class, and what they do is it's really BS. But a lot of them just use cloak, and they just bring SMGs rather than the sniper rifle. You have to choose your primary. Here is a nice use of the assault armor ability. It's really nice. It just knocks them down. You have to switch down and just rape them in the face. But what they do is they go cloak, completely invisible, very hard to see. I've only gotten a couple cloak kills, and that means like of killing guys that are in cloak, because they're rather difficult to see. And then they just go right behind you and then uncloak with an SMG and just like let it rip on your face. It's like the horriest way to get kills. The other thing that Recon is good for is this thing called Oracle, which is kind of like this 3D radars kind of stuff. It like shoots this pulse out that everyone else just kind of like on your team can see on the screen. It just highlights the enemies in these like little red bubbles, and that's pretty cool. And you know, those are the 3 classes right now. Of them all, I mostly played Assault because I honestly didn't have that long to play it. When I got my beta key, it was only 3 or 4 days left until the ending of the closed beta phase 2, and that actually ended last Monday. And I've been putting off uploading this or recording this because it is, as you can imagine, an 18-minute video, and I needed a lot more content to fill the massiveness of this. So I figured I'd just wait until more stuff happened. And there's actually a really good example of me killing a guy that gets cloaked. And I don't actually win this game, but it is a very good game that displays a lot of what's important in the actual game. That's why I'm posting this. And it's also one of the... It remains the fact that this is one of the only games that I was able to successfully record where I have a pretty good score. Because I'm going to talk about some of the frame rate issues and stuff later. But if you guys want to pick up a beta key for this, perhaps for when Phase 3 comes out, because I don't think they're going to open beta quite yet. It'll be another closed beta. I believe there is a Facebook Machinima link you can go to. I'll try to have it in the description if it still exists. If it doesn't, I'm sorry about that. You're watching this video a bit late. That's pretty much it for the GRO basics. What's pretty cool about this game is in Phase 2, when you went online, there'd only ever be like 130, 140 people online. And because it is closed, it's closed beta. And most people didn't figure out how to get beta keys like I did. I spent an excessively long amount of time trying to get beta keys just to find out they were all like European beta keys, and they never worked in the US. And then I eventually found the Machinima thing, because everyone on Machinima was like, yes, you're gonna advertise Ghost Recon online. I don't care. I'm playing Call of Duty. I'm not gonna listen to that. Psh, not gonna listen. So they just had an excessively large number of beta keys on like May 4th or 5th or something when they released them on May 1st. And I imagine that if it was a Call of Duty game, they'd be gone in like 2 hours. But they were all there, so they're even still there. You can probably still get them. And that'll just allow you to download the client and then update the software. But you won't be able to connect to any servers because the server went down, like as I said, the Monday of last week, which was a downer because this game is rather fun. I will not be denying that at all. It is quite fun. You get in the mood. It's not like Call of Duty. You can't really rush. Kind of have to take your time. Anyways, basically, like I was saying, there's like only 150, 160 people maybe online at any one time. So the very interesting thing is that I actually ran into the lead designer of the game. So that doesn't mean he's like an executive producer or anything. It's not like he has full control over like the game and its advertising or anything like that. But he was in charge of how the game was shaped, basically, and he had a lot of input on that. And he was from Singapore. This game actually has its production base from Singapore. So you know, we joked about some of the Singapore laws and how they're crazy. But that was just all jokes aside, I suppose. I asked him a couple questions about the Wii U actually, because I was really interested about how this game was going to come to the Wii U. And word fail. Basically, what he told me was that they were focusing a lot more on the PC version right now, and they're going to focus more on the Wii U version later when they can finalize this version, because they haven't even decided really how many classes they want going to have. And they had an enormous amounts of glitch. Wow, that's a terrible sentence. They had a large number of glitches in the first part of Phase 1 and a little bit in Phase 2, from what I hear from the forums. It's not that glitchy in my opinion. It needs a lot of rebalancing. The Recon class is the kill-horiest and most OP class when just people throw on SMGs and invisibility. It's terrible. It's painful. It's so bad. And also, there's this one shotgun called the Pentagon that is, I don't even understand. It's just like, it kills you in like 2 shots and it fires so rapidly. It's like the AA-12, but having the power of like the freaking model. It's abnormally powerful. So those are really my only 2 complaints that I have. I guess that's pretty much what it is. So, you know, from the lead developer, I got to talk about some of the things that bothered me in the game, and he was pretty chill about that. He really did respond. His name was like, his in-game name was R-O-B-Y, I believe, Robbie, maybe. I don't know his full name. You can probably look it up. You'll find him. He's the lead designer of Ghost Recon Online, and it really is a fun game, guys. I was just complaining about a couple things, but it's a very fun game. It's quite fun. That's really the basic way. It's the only way I can really put it. Anyways, guys, now that I'm done with that, you know, pretty good segue from talking about the Wii U and how this game might come to it. Because I don't really know any specifics. I heard there's going to be some stuff maybe with giving the Recon some sort of Recon drone or something. You can fly around with the Wii U controller. That'd be pretty interesting. But I'm actually going to talk about some of the recent news with the Wii U. So, if you guys didn't know, the Wii U was officially confirmed by Gearbox. And they're the guys that designed Aliens, Colonial Marines, I believe. They were giving like this show off, I think probably like 2 days ago, and it was about how Aliens, Colonial Marines was a pretty awesome game, and it was all like, it was basically an advertisement video. And at about 7 minutes into the video, they started talking about the Wii U capabilities for this game, and the guy seemed really excited. He was like, you could just look down to your Wiimote controller, not Wiimote, Wii U controller, and it would be all like for the aliens on the radar. And also he was all like, you can move it around, man. And I was like, yeah, that's what the Wii is all about, man. But that is what he was about, and eventually he got to the statement where he just blatantly said, like, the Wii U version is going to be graphically superior to the other two versions. And then he basically hinted very, very strongly towards the fact that the Nintendo is going to be supporting an online system very similar to the PSN or Xbox Live. And he did it in a way that was kind of like, he was all like, they better, and we won't sign if they didn't, and they obviously signed, so it's very obvious that Nintendo is going in that direction with their online, which I thought was very interesting. Couple other things to talk about. This is more personal stuff, some more personal updates. For example, I left you guys with the idea that I came back from the regional fair at Science Fair, and I was all pissed and whatnot. And this is actually more along the lines of how the state science fair went. And you know, it honestly went pretty good. Me and my partner performed really well. We had this one like midget woman with like a weird haircut that was our first judge, and my partner started arguing with her, which was like the stupidest thing he could have done. But other than that, it went really well. Like, our last judge told us that we were like by far the best project of the entire fair. We ended up winning a third place, but we were really close to second place. Don't get excited. What that means is, it means like out of the top 60 of like 300 projects, we fall around somewhere like 44, which is pretty good. We didn't actually get any money, but you know, I got to take home a textbook, and textbooks can go for like 110 bucks. I ended up getting one on like conceptual physics or something, which will be useful next year because I'll be taking physics next year. But for now, it's jump. So the other thing is, last week, one of the other reasons I didn't post, it was AP Hell Week. If any of you guys take AP tests, you know that last week was chock full of AP tests. I had the AP US History one, I had the AP Chem one, and I had an AP Computer Science one. And it all went pretty well, but it absorbed a lot of my time, and I really was not in the mood to create videos. Yeah. So, the other BS thing that's happening from school right now might keep me from making a few videos as often as I did and was doing a couple weeks ago, is my school's just decided, like, hey, guys, you know what would be cool if we all gave you 2 projects to 3 projects each. And that's what my schools are doing right now. And it's really just a big dick move, because it's like my chem teacher's all like, hey guys, here's a qualitative analysis lab. You're going to have to identify like 40 chemicals. And then they're also being like, also, design me something that will be able to determine the energy in a food source when you burn it. And it's like, what? Why are you giving me two things to do? And then my history teacher's all like, hey guys, test next Monday. Also, guess what? And then we're all like, what? And he's like, 3 projects. And we're like, what? What? And then my math teacher's all like, hey guys. We're like, what? And he's like, pick 2 places on a globe. And we're like, cool. And a silo in Arizona and Moscow. And he's like, now draw a line. And then we did that. And then we had to calculate using like pre-calc and whatnot, different like segments along the line. So I actually ended up plotting a missile course between Arizona and Moscow. So that was actually a pretty fun lab that we did for math. But yeah, all things aside, school has been pretty much a dick to me recently. So in fact, just today I went shopping for parts for my calorimeter, which is the thing that measures the heat in a food source. I'm sure I'm confusing some of you guys right now. That's because I'm just throwing academic terms at your face. Just don't worry about that stuff. It doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. So one of the other things is the reason I didn't get very many gameplays of this game out. This will probably be the only one I ever upload until the next phase of the beta. Couple of reasons. First of all, these games are like massively long, massively fun, really. But one of the other reasons is that my laptop was overheating. It was actually clocking at something like 86 Celsius when I was playing this game, which is as you can imagine, not healthy at all. That's not healthy for a laptop. It was lagging the crap out of my laptop, not for internet reasons, actually for the laptop reasons. The fans were all covered in dust. So what I did was, I spent like 3 days learning how to open up my laptop, at which point the closed beta had already ended, which is like a boner killer. But I learned how to open up my laptop, which is a pretty badass laptop, but it's kind of hard to take apart. And I ended up cleaning out all the fans and all sorts of thingamajigs within the insides of my laptop. I also ordered a cooling pad, which is now located underneath the underside of my laptop, and I can now rightfully say that my laptop runs the highest of definition of all games at pretty much around only the high 50s in Celsius, which is so much healthier than what it was running like Minecraft HD a couple of days ago, which was at like 92 Celsius. I was like, what is this bullshit? Because it was not, that's not healthy at all for a laptop. If you guys don't know, 92 Celsius is like 190 Fahrenheit. Like, you can practically boil like water on the GPU at that temperature. That's just insanity. So that's pretty much all the mega updates I wanted to cover, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, like it up as you do, comment as you do, tell me what you're thinking about Ghost Recon Online, and subscribe if you liked it. Yeah, I guess if you want to see some more of me, because you're probably not going to see more of Ghost Recon itself, and well, actually maybe if Phase 3 comes around. That's pretty much it. I'm sorry about my grammar fails during this video. It's rather hard to talk for basically 18.5 minutes. So I will see y'all later, and peace!